What is the UPU and how does it work?
Okay. The EPU is the Universal Universal Postal Union, situated in Bern, Switzerland. It's described as a very powerful mechanism for transporting goods, every type of goods that is, and also having a near perfect legal system to oversee the transport of those goods. In order for me to give you a fuller and richer explanation, I'll have to go into history. It was founded probably about 150 years ago or slightly longer, and it all revolves around delivering letters. Now, since most countries or the country people were never really in contact with each other, it was difficult to do trade with them. So you had to go see them personally and pick up the goods and travel back with it. So the people out of Bern, Switzerland came up with a really clever idea, which is, what if we created lines of express, or be it pony express, from one country to another, one state to another, one doorstep to another. Let's do that and treaty with them, many countries as we possibly can, to deliver those letters, whether that letters would be mail or parcels or whatever it is. So once they'd done that, what they did is they provided a near perfect solution to any conflict or resolution. So if me and you have a dispute as to what goods didn't travel through, you didn't get your money, if we use the post office or their transport mechanism, they came up with a near perfect way of dealing with that. And they established federal courts to oversee that. So if I sent you a piece of equipment and I didn't get payment for it, and I can prove that I didn't get payment for it, well, I can take you to court, a federal court, and get my money. And that comes under that jurisdiction because I used their lines of transport. Okay? So if you want a courthouse, you have to buy one of these things or lease one of these things as an independent territory with the UPU. And the way that works is that every single post office throughout this planet, it doesn't matter wherever it is, if it's a post office, is an independent territory, like an embassy is with the US in London. So it's the US Embassy in London is a territory of the US in London. So now that they have these independent territories all over the world, they created court systems, work exactly the same way. All court systems or courtrooms, those buildings that you go into, are independent territories run by the UPU. And there is where you're supposed to settle scores. But of course, corruption being what it is that near legal perfect system is a way in which they fraudulently get you into those buildings, move you into an independent territory, and that means that you're in a different country, and then apply whatever rules that they want to you from that country, which is known as jurisdiction. So if it's say for example, the Carl Corporation wanting to take some money off of me, you hire that courtroom, and there you summons me pretending to be the court, get me into that independent territory, and then apply whatever rules and regulations you want, as long as I pay you the money you want from me, and then you let me go. And because the police and the bailiffs and the sheriffs are really just part of the game, if not, they're not part of the game, they are just very ignorant people. So they just go out and perform those duties if you didn't turn up from court. Because as far as I know, a courtroom is a place of impartial judgment. So in nowadays, but of course as you know that, these things are being used for hijacking people, kidnapping people, extorting money, and so on and so forth. Like anything else, if you allow the monsters in, the monsters will hijack everything. Now, please do not misunderstand me, the audience, as well as you, Carl. Do not think that the UPU or the owners of it are the good boys, or that they are the malevolent ones. They are nothing of the sort. This is all a disguise in order to do exactly what they're doing now. Because in order for me to treaty with the UPU, they had to come up with a near perfect system for transporting all types of goods, including human beings, including railroad, including airplanes, you name it. It's all under the UPU, including embassies, including courtrooms, and a variety of things. I'm babbling a little bit, I do apologize. For example, where ports are, they're also independent territory belonging to the UPU. People are not aware of that, but this is essentially the post office routes. And what they're doing is they're transporting people as well as letters and cargo. Because they have given you this mechanism, this near perfect mechanism, they also created a near perfect solution to any problems that you and I would encounter, which is known as federal laws. In doing so, they got our trust. In every country, they got our trust because they created two near perfect systems. One is federal law and the means of transport safely. Because they're able to do that, the mechanism is so clever that every country in the world fell for it. Almost every country in the world, not every single one, but almost every single country fell for it. And as a result, when they let the post office in, courtrooms turned up, embassies turned up, and a variety of things turned up, passports and so on and so forth, to move people around. But people are not aware, all of these things, all of these transports and all of these laws all pertain to a small group of people in Bern, Switzerland. That's why the UPU, if you look it up on the internet, is considered to be the most powerful organization on this planet. So powerful, in fact, armies only can march through their roads, and armies answer to the UPU. For example, who runs the armies, the governments and things like that? They are known as postmasters or postmaster generals pertaining to each country. They appoint the armies, and the armies take order from a postmaster general, and the postmaster general takes his orders from the EPU. That's how powerful a postmaster general is. In fact, you can Google Postmaster General of Britain or US, and you'll quickly understand how powerful they are. In fact, they are more powerful than any presidents that you thought existed, or prime ministers, and so on and so forth. In this country, this is known as the Mandelson seat. They quite often disguise these posts so the general public don't know who's actually running what. So it's, in present time, I think it's Winston Cable that sits on the Mandelson seat, and the Mandelson seat is the ex-post of the Postmaster General of Britain. You can look it up for every single country in the world and you'll get that answer.